Wow, that was fast. I did not expect that. So we now have 2 betas in 1 week. Apple has just pushed out iOS 12 beta 10 to developers and beta 8 for public beta users. So 2 betas in 1 week. That means Apple is really trying to get this thing polished before the release. They definitely want to deliver on their promises for this being the fastest and most stable iOS version in a very long time, and it's really showing. So what's new, what's changed? And I'd also like to point out that this is now tied with iOS 11 when it was in beta for the most amount of betas. And I think we still have plenty of room for 1 or 2 more before the GM. So that's going to be a record in terms of polish and amount of releases and bugs being squashed before final release. So this is a very tiny update. It came in at 68 megabytes on my iPhone 10. It installed very, very fast. And actually going through it, there was nothing to be found in this version. There are a couple of features that have been found from the last that I missed, but really nothing new to discuss. I jumped through all the settings, tried to go through pretty much everything, and I was not able to find any differences. And that's just how it is. Towards the end, with all of these betas, we're going to be getting diminished returns on the features, so Apple wants to squash all of those bugs. And by the way, going through the release notes, there's still quite a few in here. So these are the ones that Apple's going to be taking care of before release, all the known issues and whatnot, but I wasn't able to find any concrete changes in this version. But things are getting very, very nice and polished. I mean, ever since the last beta, my iPhone has been feeling so great, and beta 10 shouldn't make that any worse, that's for sure, if not better. And actually, before updating, this is what I had, 187.2 gigabytes after 0.4 returned, and that's how it is. Usually with betas, it clears the caches, clears out some unused files here and there. And from the last beta, there are a couple of features I wanted to talk about that have been found or changes. Things are getting so obscure, so hard to find that you really have to dig throughout the OS and actually use it as your phone in order to find it. So first off, if you actually go into Faces, say me for example, if you click up here, the option for confirm additional photos has been placed in this little toggle up here to the right, where previously it was a separate option. And also a small change found by a user. So if you have multiple emails set up in the Mail app, in the notification settings of Mail, you'll have a section to choose favorite mailboxes and adjust the notifications for them from here. And there were a couple changes from the last beta. If I find anything from this one, of course, I will include it in the next video, but it's such a small update. It's mostly bug fixes, little things that you're likely not to notice. So in the last beta, we had some record-breaking Geekbench scores. Let's go ahead and see what we get on this one. But I gotta tell you, the battery life has been so great in the last betas. In the early ones, it was actually draining much faster. So Apple figured that out before release. That's what matters. For me on my iPhone 10 anyways, your experience may differ. Either way, I'm so excited to get the final release here and then for the subsequent updates where Apple will be optimizing things. My goodness, that is a record-setting number right there. On a different device, same firmware, I was able to get 10,754 out of the Apple A11 chip. Apple is inking out every little bit of power that they can out of this processor, and it really, really shows operating iOS 12. It is so fluid. Apps remain longer in the background on my iPhone 10 preloaded, so they don't reload as much as it was evident in my last speed test video. I'm definitely loving iOS 12, and I cannot wait for the final release. So stay with me, guys. There it is. Everything we know about this one. We should see a couple more betas, and I'll keep you guys updated.